The Yeti, the mysterious, majestic bundle of fur that, as folklore claims, makes its home in the high places of the world, tucked away deep within the hovels and hidey holes of the isolated, mountainous landscapes of a long-forgotten kingdom. Our civilization has been captivated by the romantic notion of our species' divergence, that somewhere, lost within the gentle breeze of time, a life form not unlike our own quietly slinked into the shadows while humanity rose up to greatness. But what if all that was true? What if we just hit the nail on the head and civilization had made it all the way to 2019 without realizing a species of Yeti was right beneath our noses the whole time? I guess we better find out. Hello internet and welcome back to the most inquisitive channel on YouTube, Life's Biggest Questions. As per usual, I'll be your disembodied floating voice Jack Finch. As we begin the expedition, grab some bear spray and curiously ask the question, what if Yetis were real? Roll the clip.
Abominable snowman!
Oh, Brendan, what have they done to you? Nevertheless, in the folklore of Nepal, the Yeti, also known as the abominable snowman, is an ape-like creature which is usually thought to be taller than the average human that is said to inhabit the Himalayan and Siberian regions of East Asia. It appears time and time again through a multitude of cultures: Afghanistan, Nepal, Bhutan, India, Pakistan, Tibet, China, Tajikistan, Kyrgyzstan, Mongolia, and the Siberian region of Russia. The names Yeti and the more phonetic Mete are commonly used by the people indigenous to these regions and form an important part of their history and mythology. Although these legends have been woven into oral tradition for hundreds if not thousands of years, the legend of the Yeti first emerged in Western popular culture in the mid-19th century, which still forms our contemporary image of the abominable snowman today. But forget them for a minute, let's take a look at the Yeti's meat and bones. I mean, not literally, poor guy. Protect the Yeti. In the ancient legends of the Himalaya people, the Yeti is often a figure of danger, tied to daring and trying tales of young adventurers that have strayed far from the well-carved path. They served as a warning to avoid dangerous wild animals out in the bleak mountain landscape of the Himalayas and to stay close, safe and sound within their communities. Strangely enough, the legendary historical Macedonian king Alexander the Great demanded to see a Yeti after conquering the Indus Valley way back when in 326 BC. However, according to primitive written records, he was told by the local people that they were unable to present him with one as the creatures could not survive at such a low altitude. Survive. That's an interesting note to make, right? In more modern times, after Westerners began traveling to the Himalayas on daring expeditions, the myth of the Yeti slowly became much more sensational. In 1921, a journalist for the BBC by the name of Henry Newman interviewed a group of British explorers who had just returned from an expedition to Mount Everest. According to the explorers, they had discovered some incredibly large footprints near the summit of the mountain, to which their local guides had attributed to the Mito Kangmi, essentially meaning man-bear snowman. In his translation, Henry Newman got the snowman part right, but mistranslated Mito to mean filthy. As a journalist, he seemed to think that abominable sounded far better than filthy, and thus the modern legend of the abominable snowman was born. Again, later in 1942, two hikers expeditioning in the Himalayas claimed to have seen two black specks moving across the snow about a quarter of a mile below them. They claimed that their height was not much less than 8 feet, their heads described as squarish, and they were covered in a reddish-brown hair which formed a close body fur mixed with long straight hairs hanging downward. In the late 90s, the legendary mountaineer Reinhold Messner, the man responsible for climbing Everest solo without any oxygen, famously described an encounter that he had with a large, unidentifiable creature on top of a mountain pass that moved with incredible agility and power. Reinhold had no idea what it was and still doesn't to this day, but he posed an interesting question. Could a creature such as the Yeti live in the isolated mountains of the Himalaya and still have remained undiscovered for thousands of years? And technically, yes. Just take a look at some of the most elusive animals on the planet and we can begin to form the basis of our answer. The Saloa of northern Vietnam, of which there are only a few hundred left on the planet. The snow leopard, also native to the Himalayas and mountain regions of Asia, roughly 4,000 of them left. The right whale, the rarest whale on the planet, which has only been spotted in the wild twice, the last sighting occurring back in 2013 off the coast of British Columbia. Now apply that same principle to the Yeti, but instead of a few thousand or several hundred, there are merely a handful, 6, maybe 7 at the most. The Himalayas encompasses an area of 1.8 million square kilometers, spreading across 1,500 miles of rugged and vastly inhospitable mountain terrain. Do you see where I'm going with this. Although the Himalayas are actually inhabited by 52.7 million people, the majority of this vast, majestic landscape is completely devoid of civilization. Under the correct circumstances, combined with the fact that the Yeti would more than likely be a relatively sapient species, it would be like searching for a frosty needle in a haystack that was trying its hardest not to be found. Just like how the locals warned Alexander the Great that the Yeti could not survive at such a low altitude, and how we as humans struggle in the thin air of the Himalayas' highest peaks, perhaps we weren't made to ever meet. Perhaps the mystery of the Yeti is exactly what it needed to survive. Well, there we have it. Question is, what do you think? Do you believe in the Yeti? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Before we depart though, we know you've always got a lot to say, so let's read out some of your more humorous comments from over the past few days. JB King says, what if we went to public school for our entire lives? Like we still had jobs but continually went to school and had education for our lives. Well, JB King, the way that I see it, every day of our lives is a new lesson, so it's almost like we're at school still. Anyway, if you don't wake up and learn something new, then you're asking the wrong questions. Next up, Nebula Draws says, what if I could actually animate? Well, Nebula Draws, you can. You've already got the username in place, and that's kind of like half the journey. We believe in you. Hey, why don't you animate me being a disembodied floating voice or something? Yeah, that'd be fun. On that note, cheers for sticking around all the way until the end. If you're a fan of this video, make sure to hit that thumbs up button, as well as that subscribe button, and we'll be seeing you in the next one. As per usual, I've been your disembodied floating voice, Jack Finch. You've been watching Life's Biggest Questions, and until next time, you take it easy.